come away with it through Scott Brennan inside the circle, and a penalty corner. Lifting the ball, penalty corner. The 7th coming up for Queensland. So 7 for Queensland, 3 for Perth. So 10 penalty corners, 9 of them already gone. We haven't seen one scored from as yet.
And it's difficult, isn't it? You just lift the ball a little bit. The rule says that that's dangerous. I'm not so sure about that, but certainly Queensland have a chance here. Richards or Elder.
So Scott Brennan to take the push out. Richards. And another penalty corner.
He hit it hard. Deletty did well to make the save, but the ball came up in the air. Wishart brought it down, but it's a good save by Deletty. Brought down, and Pryor said that that was leading to dangerous play. Another corner. And you think the ball's hit 150 k's an hour, and then they worry about that. It's a bit weird, really.
A worried look on the face of Greg Browning. So Queensland again taking it from the left with Scott Brennan. Pushed out, trapped by bottom aid. And again saved
well defended
by Perth. Terrifically well defended. Excellent work in defence by the Perth Thundersticks. And this will be starting to just play on the Queenslanders' minds, you would think. This succession of penalty corners and not able to score off any of them be very frustrating, and they'd be thinking to themselves, when is something going to go our way? Well, they get the free hit. Another free hit to Queensland.
Mind you, John, it's much worse if you can't win a penalty corner. The fact that they're getting them says that they're there and they're making chances and they're getting penetration, so that's a good sign.
Scott Webster. Back to Paul Godoyne in the midfield. To Ian Kirkcaldy. Out on the left wing, Kirkcaldy. Confronted by the Queensland defence, does well to get that pass to Paul Godoyne, and then another good pass across field to George, then to Choppy. Queensland, though, do well through Troy Elder. Now starting to come into his own and running Troy Elder, and picks up Michael Brennan, but Godoyne goes back in defence. Queensland, they give the free hit, and Paul Godoyne doesn't like it at all.
Well, it was a good tackle by Godoyne. He needed to, because if Brennan had got past him there, he would have been through.
Stick goes flying, but the defence holds for Perth. George, again, back near the circle defending.
Thundersticks have to be careful. They're camping back in their own half, and it's been there for 6 or 7 minutes now.
Richards decides he'll go right across field. Brought back to the midfield to Brian Johnson.
One of the dangers is if you just are a bit too patient or play a little bit too slow when you get it, you don't penetrate, and the Thundersticks haven't got the ball to the other end of the field much, and they can find themselves defending all the time in their own half. Then they will give away corners, and they'll find themselves
Ryan
suddenly level.
Just losing control of it. Free hit there to Queensland. The Blades just outside the Perth 25. Perth lead Queensland 2-1, 11 minutes until the third quarter break. Baden Choppy given a little bit of room to move on the right wing. Getting towards the circle, then gets it back to Daniel Davison. Queensland trying to defend off their own line and eventually are able to clear it away. For how long remains to be seen. Again, into the circle by Perth. Baden Choppy couldn't get the ball away. Now goes back and picks it up once more. Kirkcaldy appealing for a penalty corner. Not forthcoming.
Well, for a corner, it has to be deliberate, and really, if you're inside the circle, then it has to be a stroke in that decision. I think that you'd have to say the umpire's right on all of those. A couple of good chances for Perth there that went begging, and they can't afford to squander them either.
Ball lifted, giving Queensland the free hit. Intercepted, though, well by Ian Wishart. Back again to Goodwin, pushes it across to Aaron Hopkins. Perth starting to come forward, but just losing control of it. Perth lead Queensland 2-1. The final of the 1999 Fox Sports Cup of the National Hockey League. Perth have been the most successful side in the history of the competition, having won it 3 times and been the runner-up on 1 occasion.
There's an eagerness about Goodwin today. I think he's been good. Lovely, beautiful play there again.
Yeah, great work, Goodwin.
And if he hadn't played well, they'd be in real trouble.
Webster got the pass through well to Choppy. George contesting it well, Bevan George. And draws the free hit. Scott Webster.
Well done by Webster. That's the sort of skill you need. Looking for a deflection here, I reckon.
Bevan George. Queensland, though, able to just get their defence set. Perth continue to attack. Brian Johnson flicks it away. Scott Brennan. Dwyer. Good pace by Dwyer, getting down the right wing. No help with him. And still does well. Oh, terrific work by Dwyer. Queensland just eventually couldn't control it, and Paul Goodwin comes away with it. He's played very well, Jamie Dwyer, and that was great work. Had to do all the work himself, and did a fine job. Elder. Through ball. Scott Webster for the Perth Thundersticks to Goodwin in the midfield. Troy Elder comes up with it, though, for the Blades. Back to Michael Brennan. Brennan gets it to Dwyer inside the circle. Brennan couldn't control it as it came back, and Baden Choppy said, thanks, I'll take that. To Webster. Looks to pick up Choppy. Greg Corbett gets it inside the goal, and there it is. That could be the goal that could well win it. Beautifully picked in by Tristan Woodhouse. That could be a vital goal in this game, because that takes Perth to a lead of 3-1. It will be very difficult now for Queensland to come back.
Well, good play in the middle there. You see the pass, lovely pass from Corbett. He has terrific vision. Slips it through there. Choppy was running behind him, and indeed a couple of players were drawn to Choppy, but Corbett always has been one of the best passers in the game, and those lovely long passes of his, we haven't seen too many of them today, but you only need one like that and it makes a goal, and that can make all the difference.
So Tristan Woodhouse, 25 years of age, scores a crucial goal in this game. That really does give Perth the ascendancy now. Jason Jaffrey just almost lost it. Brian Johnson has to scramble back in defence.
Given what we saw the other night, it'd be surprising now if Queensland could get back, because there's real determination about the Thundersticks now, and they'll chase and they'll press in the middle of the field. They'll give little space to Queensland, and it's hard to imagine Queensland being able to make enough chances to score now.
Free hit, flick downfield, but no one there. Troy Elder couldn't get to it for Queensland.
The danger, of course, for the Thundersticks is if they just want to defend, 2 goals really won't be enough. They've got to still penetrate and make chances. They've got to make the Queenslanders spend some time in their own half.
So Queensland get inside the circle again, but once more Perth get back in numbers, but then concede another penalty corner.
Well, Carruthers is not happy about that, because they'd made the tackle, and then in clearing the ball he just raised it. Very short distance. Look, yeah, the player had his stick on the ground, it hit his wrist. Again, they're calling that dangerous, but well,
Queensland really do now need to convert this penalty corner to give themselves a chance of getting back into this game. Down by 2 goals. trapped by Zilk. Dwyer looking to get it away, but again, that wasn't well constructed by Queensland. They just didn't quite seem to know exactly where that was going to go to and who was going to do the work.
They didn't make the stop at the top, though. If you don't make the stop at the top, you can't shoot. And they're fiddling with that ball, trying to make that. And of course, then your plans fall to pieces.
Queensland looking to get it back inside the circle to Brennan. The reverse hit across field. Couldn't control it, though, Michael Brennan.
More in hope than anything else, although we saw that one that decided the semi-final, one of those brilliant shots on the reverse.
Probably an interesting point you make about how Perth now go about this game, Rick, given that we saw in the semi-final, as we see Perth starting to make again a break up field and draw the free hit.
I think you play solidly at the back and you look for the breakaways, when you get in there, you take your chances.
Queensland clearer, though.
Don't turn it over like that.
Yeah, Melbourne had, in the semi-final, had led Queensland by 3 goals to 1, and I think Queensland, even though their legs were getting tired, they perhaps just tried to close things down a little too early, and all of a sudden found themselves back level at 3-all in the game into extra time. So I'm sure that the coach of the Perth Thundersticks, Mark Hagar, will be just saying to his side, look, there's still a lot of time to go in this match. It's not over yet. Scott Webster doing well, but then loses it.
Of course, the coach can have the best plan and idea in the world, but the players have got to put it into effect. That's the trouble.
Said like a coach, Rick Giles.
And I think that each time the players get the ball, they've got to make a decision. They've got to make a judgment, and that's why it's such a complex thing. The ball changes from player to player. They've all got to make judgments. They've all got to do the percentages every time they make the pass, and then they've got to execute the skill.
Michael Brennan working hard to get that ball away, but Bevan George comes back in to take it. Picks up Greg Corbett. Corbett flicking it across for Baden Choppy. He couldn't control it.
Corby's going to be looking for those long ones all the time now.
I guess if you've got someone as quick as Baden Choppy with a little room to move, then you go looking for him all the time, wouldn't you?
Yeah, he can be very dangerous. If he gets the ball in one-on-one, then there aren't too many players who can stop him. And
penalty corner.
Yeah, I think he's right. That was an agricultural tackle there, and certainly deserved the sanction.
Well, one of the reasons that the European sides asked the International Hockey Association to change back to the old rule was there weren't that many penalty corners. Well, here's a game under the new rule that's producing plenty. Trapped just outside the circle and then cleared away. So the Western Australian defence from the Perth Thundersticks, well, has been excellent.
That's quite a brilliant save by Wishart. There's the push out. He's flicked that hard and well done. Galletti was behind him and might have had it anyway, but you've got to be very brave. That's a good save.
So Perth lead Queensland by 3 goals to 1. 1.5 minutes until the 3-quarter time break. Brennan gets it back to Jason Jaffrey. Dwyer, confronted by Perth defence. Working hard. Gets the free hit. Zilk getting it back into centre field. Little reverse shot by Dwyer. Saved again, though, by Perth.
Thundersticks just not connecting with their passes there, and they keep giving the ball back to Queensland. It'll keep coming back at them.
So Queensland would be desperate to try and get another goal back on the board before the break, but they've only got 30 seconds to do so.
Yeah, you want to get it near the circle and try and win a corner.
Murray Richards. Cross ball for Michael Brennan. The mouse tries to work his way in, but the moment he gets the ball, Brendan, the defence swoops on him. Again back inside the circle. Damon Deletti saw that ball coming and was able to just let it go over the back line. Greg Browning, a worried coach at three-quarter time because his side trails by 2 goals. Three-quarter time, Perth 3 lead Queensland 1. Back for the final quarter of the Fox Sports Cup in just a moment.
Alex Creville's in unbeatable form as he sets off on the road to championship glory, live on Fox Sports 2.
Oh my God, this is going to be special.
Man and machine lock into hot pursuit at the 10th race of the season.
A really good indication of Corbett's vision there, and Woodhouse did very well. He just got enough lift on it to put it over the goalkeeper.
So the final quarter coming up. You have to pay credit to the defence of the Perth Thundersticks. Queensland have had so many chances from penalty corners, but the defence has been equal to the task on every occasion. Queensland need to score a goal and need to score it quickly in this final quarter to get back into the game. Well, they've started well, down inside the 25, but the Perth defence once more is equal to the task, as they have been all day. Daniel Davison running hard to make sure he got that ball away. George goes through to Brian Johnson. Free hit goes to the Queensland Blades. Dwyer in centre field looks to find Troy Elder. Push back inside by Scott Brennan. Back with him again now, Brennan. Inside the circle. Damon Deletti has no trouble though in just simply kicking that ball away. Paul Godoyne couldn't quite control it. Now to Richards. Gets it back to Jason Jaffrey.
Quite an interesting move by Hagar. He's got Choppy playing in the midfield now, with Bolton, Davidson and Woodhouse all on. Choppy's playing in the midfield. I think he realises they need the legs there.
Davison giving it back to Webster. Now to Godoyne. Picks up Choppy. Confronted by Brian Johnson. Works hard to get around him and get it into the circle. Free hit to Queensland. Johnson for Dwyer. Brennan.
That's a good tackle.
Was a good tackle. Aaron Hopkins chased Brennan the whole way. Queensland down into the circle once more, but again the defence holds. George back there. Brings it out and picks up Choppy. Looking for some open space. And gets the free hit.
Given the space in the midfield there, Choppy can actually hold the ball, run it out, and that's the sort of thing that the Thundersticks need. They need a little bit of control in the middle. Although Choppy's now on his haunches, he looks like he's exhausted.
Webster, yeah, sucking in the deep breaths is Baden Choppy while he has a moment. Queensland giving it back to Ryan Zilk.
Oh, well done.
And again, Zilk trying to get that ball clear. No one there to pick up the pass though. Goes over the back line, and so the 16-yard restart quickly taken. Godoyne across to Daniel Davison. On the right wing, Davison comes to Elder, gets it around Elder. Queensland though get possession through Richards, then back to Elder. Troy Elder.
A few mistakes being made because people are tired now. The ball's being turned over just because the players are getting tired.
Scott Brennan couldn't get his pass free. Bevan George back there in defence gets it through to Webster and gets the free hit. Taken by Scott Webster. George to Webster again. Godoyne. Back over halfway through Webster. Davison can't control it. Queensland restart from the 16-yard mark.
Mark Hagar's going to want his midfielders to work really hard for him and make sure that whenever they win possession, they hold it as long as they possibly can. If the clock keeps ticking down, that's when Queensland will start to really get worried about this situation. Up until now, they've been able to penetrate and make enough chances, but every time they turn it over now, it seems more important.
Jason Jaffrey looked to pick up Scott Brennan. Couldn't hold on to it, Brennan. Free hit to Queensland. 13.5 minutes remaining until full time. The Perth Thundersticks leading the Queensland Blades in the Fox Sports Cup final by 3 goals to 1. Taken by Troy Elder. Cross to Zilk.
There's 11 Thundersticks back in the 25 now. They're determined to just fill the space and break when they can.
Mark Hagar on the bench. Would be feeling fairly happy with the way things are going, and his side defending brilliantly, giving Queensland absolutely nothing at all. They're trying hard, Queensland. They're trying to keep the pressure on, but the defence, apart from that penalty stroke that was conceded, they've had plenty to do, the defence, but they've really done it magnificently.
I'm sure
George.
He'd be much happier if they were 7-1 up. But the defence is doing it. The worry is one goal can just change all the momentum now.
Baden Choppy took that ball very well, just controlled it in mid-air, then gets it back in field to Ian QLD. Free hit though goes to the Queensland Blades. Scott Brennan out on the left wing, looks for his brother Michael. Michael Brennan, the Mouse as he's commonly known. Back in centre field and pushed away by Dean Butler. Ryan Zilk just looked at the umpire, but there was no signal forthcoming from him. Scott Brennan. Jason Jaffrey. Richards across to Johnson. Now in centre field. Moving the ball around Queensland, but the defence not being put under any pressure.
Well, if you get 11 players back there around the circle, you pass the ball from side to side to side, eventually you've got to get in there somehow, and basically that's what's happening. The Thundersticks are just filling the space, and Queensland are going around, but you've got to penetrate. Someone's got to want the ball in the circle. Sooner or later you've got to take some risks, and that's of course what the Thundersticks are waiting for. They want the turnover and then they'll break. But of course when they do break, if they turn it over, then maybe for Queensland that's a good thing.
QLD got the ball clear, picked up though by Murray Richards. Evan George to restart. Ryan Zilk controls it. Now with Johnson. This time trapped by Murray McIntyre, who's just come off the reserves bench for the Perth Thundersticks. QLD back to Baden Choppy. Choppy looking desperately to pick up Daniel Davison, who was just a little wide of him.
He wanted Davidson or Webster and he wasn't sure which one, so he fired it between them. That often happens.
But he can blame both, eh? Nothing to do with him.
Yeah, it's a compromise pass. But they're happy to have it down there. They've got field position. They can waste time. They can let the seconds tick. They can pass it back. And this is very frustrating. If you're 3-1 down, as the Queensland are, the other team just passed the ball around, then it can really be difficult. Of course, one little error and then suddenly you're in with a chance, but at this level they should be able to maintain possession.
Queensland working hard to try and get that ball back. Now in fact they do. Brennan though couldn't hold on to it, but the free hit will go the way of the Queensland Blades. Be retaken. 3-1. Perth lead Queensland. 9 minutes remaining. Johnson. Richards. Brennan has the ball taken off him by Baden Choppy, but done so illegally, so Queensland get the free hit. Brennan again. Johnson on the left. Scott Brennan. No one there to take the pass though from Scott Brennan.
It's not pretty, but it's effective, you know. Thundersticks just filling the space, not allowing Queensland into the circle.
Johnson once more, again to Brennan. Oh, great defence by Bevan George. Worked very hard then, Bevan George, and got the rewards. Elder. What can Troy Elder do? Just lost his footing, and now Daniel Davison is able to break away. Elder coming hard back in defence. Push back to Scott Webster. Tried to get the pass to QLD. He couldn't hold on to it. Dwyer. Almost lost possession, Dwyer. Does draw the free hit. Richards. Murray Richards. Just brought to ground. Jaffrey. Contested by Daniel Davison. And the yellow card being given
To QLD.
against Ian QLD for 5 minutes.
Something must have happened, but this will make it even more interesting now. They've got to play with 10. There's 7.5 minutes to go, so this will enable Queensland to apply even more pressure.
Yeah, that
They've
was
got to get
interesting.
one back. They've got to get the first one back.
You see Ian QLD on the far side, and the umpire over on that side, obviously very close to the action, had no hesitation in blowing the whistle and producing the yellow card. So Perth down to 10 men. The chance for Queensland to get back, well trapped though by Daniel Davison. Brings it forward.
Sloppy pass by
Yeah,
David.
wasn't a good pass. He'd done the hard work early on and then saw the pass go straight out to Ryan Zilk.
I wonder whether QLD, in chasing back to tackle, brought somebody down deliberately. I think that might have been the breach.
Change for the Queensland Blades going on. Number 7, Sean Dancer, replacing number 8.
Brian Johnson, who's one of Queensland's hardest worker, gets a break. Greg Corbett comes back off the interchange bench for the Perth Thundersticks.
And obviously the hope for Hagar would be that Corby can, for 5 or 6 minutes, really exert himself, exert some influence here.
Well, again, that defence, impenetrable. Stuart Carruthers, the captain, leading from the front, and Corbett clears. Doesn't mind, he simply drive it downfield, just play it down at the other end. Six minutes remaining. Perth lead Queensland 3-1. Time really running out now for Queensland. Michael Brennan knows it. But the Perth defence just dropped back in numbers. They may be a man short, but they're defending extremely well to cover up for the fact that QLD's not there with them. Queensland finding it very hard to get into the circle. Greg Browning, the worried Queensland coach. And again, the defence is equal to the task.
And of course, with large numbers of people back there, your best chance is often to hit it hard into the circle. They tried that, then didn't work.
Scott Webster works hard, gets it to Choppy. Good work, Michael Brennan, just to pick that ball off Choppy. And Choppy realises that he'd lost it to Brennan and then tries to atone. So Perth get the ball back.
What happens for a team like Perth, though, in this situation, they're very concentrated on defence. There's real purpose about their defence, but when they get it, they're not really sure what to do, and they keep losing it because there's not the same sort of purpose about attacking.
Greg Corbett again, that mightn't be pretty, but is wasting up time. He simply drives it deep, puts it down into Queensland territory, and the clock just ticks away. 4.5 minutes left. Perth lead by 3 goals to 1. Jaffrey. Brennan. Has Godoy there in defence. Did well to get it away. The pass, though, will go loose. Queensland's been down inside the 25 of Perth so often, but they've had very few chances to get it inside the circle, and Perth's intentions are obvious. Just drive it deep. Drive it down into Queensland's half. Make them work the ball back out. Dancer. Came off Scott Webster, picked up by Dwyer. Dwyer inside the circle. The defence comes back in numbers. Dwyer tries to clear, and a penalty corner. Queensland, one of the few times that they've really been able to work it inside the circle. Lee Bottomade.
Lovely piece of individual skill here by Dwyer. Pulls the ball back, gets the shot in, save is made, and then obstruction kicking or whatever you like in the clearance there. Now, for their momentum, they need to score here. If they do, then we'll see 3 very interesting minutes.
Bottomade was pleading for a penalty stroke, but not forthcoming. He has to settle for the penalty corner. Trapped. The variation, but again cleared. What a great keeper is Damon Deletti.
That's
the dingo. I tell you what, there's no dingo in him at all. He's as tough as they come. He fights out every inch of the way. He is just a brilliant, brilliant defender.
Well, there it is from the right, and it's knocked to Brennan, and he shoots on the reverse, and Deletti saves with the stick. Might have been going wide, but you've got to go for him, and he's saved a lot today.
He's just a wonderful player, Damon Deletti. It was interesting to hear Bob Proctor from the New South Wales Warriors after the defeat by Perth in the semi-final give credit to Damon Deletti and said, well, he killed us. He said, that's why he's the best in the business.
Being a goalkeeper himself, of course,
yes, well,
Bob puts tremendous value on the job of the goalkeeper, but he's right about Deletti.
Corbett looking to get the through ball to Scott Webster. Michael Brennan. Across field. Lost. So Perth now virtually assured of victory. A minute and a half remaining. Just not enough time for Queensland, but they haven't been able to penetrate this defence. It's been relentless, the Perth Thundersticks defence, and again on their own line and clearing it deep.
Well, Queensland have had 10 or 12 corners today with the old rule or the old interpretation. One can't imagine how many they might have had.
They've had their attacking opportunities, Queensland, but you have to give credit where credit is due, and the defence of the Perth Thundersticks has been virtually perfect. The only thing they have conceded was a penalty stroke, but apart from that, Queensland hasn't looked like getting through their defence. Great credit to them. And very deserved champions they will be. They've been the best side right through the season, the Perth Thundersticks. Finished on top of the ladder. Only the one defeat, and that was to the Melbourne Redbacks. But apart from that, they've been the dominant side, and they fully deserve their victory here this afternoon. It will be the 4th time that they've taken out the Fox Sports Cup. And a great team performance it's been right through the season and again through the final series. Dominant against New South Wales in the semi-final. And again, they've had their work cut out today against Queensland, but they've been able to do everything Queensland's thrown at them.
Yeah, I think they took their chances when they came. They've defended very well. This fellow Godoy, who made that pass then, has had a very, very good game. And you'd have to say some fantastic defence.
Mark Hagar, a Queenslander though he may be, but the coach of the Perth Thundersticks is delighted, as are all of his players. Congratulations to Perth. They've defeated the Queensland Blades by 3 goals to 1. A very, very well-deserved victory by the Perth Thundersticks. There he is, Mark Hagar, the successful coach. Was a wonderful player, of course, himself for many, many years for Australia. And now a most successful coach. There's Damon Deletti, the goalkeeper, who had such a big part to play today, with so many penalty corners going Queensland's way. But what a wonderful game he had.
Well, he's my electrician, I might tell you, John, and he had an electrifying performance today. Mark Hagar, of course, was a brilliant forward and a scorer for Australia, but significantly his team won today because of their very good defence. And it's that man there, Deletti, and the other defenders who made the difference. I thought Godoyne was very, very good in the middle of the field, sharp and alert all the time. And of course he scored 2 penalty strokes.
And Baden Choppy, another Queenslander by birth, going over to congratulate some of his former teammates. But the Perth Thundersticks, the dominant side throughout this season in the Fox Sports Cup. They deserved their win and they've done it in fine style. Congratulations to them. The home crowd is happy. The Perth Thundersticks are the 1999 Fox Sports champions, defeating the Queensland Blades by 3 goals to 1. On behalf of Rick Charlesworth, I'm John McCoy, bidding you good afternoon from the Perth Hockey Stadium. Ooh.